Learning a new language sounds easy in theory, right? In reality, it can be really hard to do. Hey everyone, my name is Andre Lieberher.
Hi guys, my name is Sandy.
I'm an avid photographer and a struggling college student.
And I'm 16. I live in Paris at the moment, but I'm originally from Russia.
Because for some abstract reason, I decided to take field of study using my fourth language. And to be honest, it's not the language that most people choose to learn. German.
My international experience has allowed me to learn over 3 languages over the course of my life. I speak Russian, English, and French fluently and have some basic knowledge of Spanish.
Without further ado, let's get into the yee. Have you ever heard the quote, everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid. Now you might argue that learning a new language is a talent thing. Here's the tea. Anyone can learn a new language, and that includes you. You just have to know what sort of learner you are. You are not a fish.
However, the experimentation surrounding learning languages has really entered my life when I started learning Spanish. When I decided that I wanted to learn a 4th language, I started off by using the obvious methods such as textbooks, exercises online or on paper, Duolingo, and different apps that basically are supposed to teach you languages, but do they really work? I definitely think that there are some people for whom all of these methods are going to be extremely beneficial and they won't need anything else. I ended up coming across learning languages through films. So whatever movies or cartoons I watched as a kid, I kind of switched the language to Spanish and consumed that, knowing that I already am familiar with the storyline and the concept of more or less the words that are spoken by the characters. I mean, watching these cartoons in Spanish kind of immersed me into the Spanish language and culture, if that makes sense. And I found that it was the easiest way to introduce myself to a language. Essentially what this gave me was some sort of learning aspect, like this is the equivalent of a textbook or Duolingo. And I think pretty much anything can be used as that. You can learn the language from pretty much any medium you engage with. And obviously, again, you're likely to be clueless at first, but as you pay attention, your human brain is basically naturally wired to obtain the information, because essentially that's how we learned our first languages.
German. German's a language that's notorious for its complexity. Not only that, every noun has its own gender. Those genders change form according to if you use them as a subject, as a direct object, indirect object, possessive. We're not gonna get into that yet though, because it's too much to take in one day. I'm just gonna demonstrate to you how I made learning German fun, for me personally. I am a visual learner. I learn a lot better when I'm interacting with the objects around me. So instead of just learning sentence structures on textbooks, say for example, ich gehe zum Hauptbahnhof, I'm going to the main station. I would personally learn better if I am standing in front of that main station and actually performed going to the main station. And this is perfect because, believe it or not, I was able to combine my goal of learning a new language with my interest, which is photography. Photography made me go out, look at an object, and try to name that object in the language that I'm trying to learn, and ultimately absorbed that information in my brain. Then I can make a huge mind map about what can be associated with that object. For example, school, go to school, learn at school, play at school. I'm just ranting at this point, right? I know you guys are not interested in me talking all the time. So I'm gonna take you guys and demonstrate what it was like for me when I first started learning German.
Perhaps the most valuable part of learning any language at all is the practice aspect. For this reason, I feel like you should start practicing from the very first moment you're learning the language. Even though that might seem scary or pointless, I would recommend getting 50 words or expressions written down with the definitions, and then going around and trying to use these expressions in as many possible situations as possible. Then when you feel like you've run out of words to say or feel comfortable enough with the 50 words you have, expand the list and essentially grow your colloquial language skills, if that makes sense. Really, the point of this is to get yourself rolling, to get yourself comfortable with the pronunciation, with the general vibe of the language, if that makes sense.
Right, I think I Psych, I'm not a day photographer, I'm a night photographer. Right now I'm in a park and I just want to shoot these street lights right here. They look really cool. Kind of like this bench situation. There's also this useful app that I like to use. It's called Leo Dictionary. You can download it on App Store. Basically, it's a nice dictionary that provides you with sentence examples of the word that you look up. So let's say I'm in a playground and I look at the word swing. It can mean swing a lot of things, like swinging what I'm doing right now, swinging a bat. It's a very complete dictionary and it has helped me a lot. So I got the pictures back, and from this point I just draw lines to the object that I'm trying to learn in a foreign language. For example, it's a supermarket. I gotta know the article, the plural form, you get the idea. Some other objects that I can associate with going to the supermarket: trolley, vegetables, fruits. And voila! You have a whole new visual vocabulary bank that you can always refer to while learning a new language.
Did you really think we were going to be hypocritical enough to leave you the practice tip and not tell you where to get practice? Do you see my hoodie? It's Perspectopia. Of course not. I understand that I was lucky enough to travel to France and go to an international school and essentially be immersed in an environment where I would be forced to learn the languages. And not everyone, especially with the pandemic and whatnot, not everyone has access to that. However, with technology and the internet at your disposal, you really don't need the physical human experience to actually get the same outcome out of the situation. Even with the example of Perspectopia, the Discord server might be a good place to start. With such an international community, you definitely wouldn't have a problem finding someone who speaks the language you're trying to learn, and then maybe speaking to them to learn the language and get practice and whatnot. We hope this video gave you multiple perspectives and a different variety of tips and methodologies when it comes to learning languages. And hopefully these will work for you. And if they don't, try to mix them around. Again, experiment, because it has to be intuitive for it to work. We wish you all the best in learning languages, and once again, you're always welcome in Perspectopia. And we all hope something good happens to you today.
And that's that. It's been real fun making this video. I hope to see you again in the upcoming videos, and peace out.